after creating a quiz, like in this case, the next thing is to add the questions to the quiz. So you click on it. As you can see here, no questions have been added yet. So you click on add the question. On the right hand side where we have add, click on it. So you have options, a new question from questioning bank, and random question. Now these last two are only used if you have questions already in your course added. But in this case, for this demo, we are going to add a new question. So click on a new question. Then these are the various kinds of questions you can add to your quiz. There are many. You can try out most of them in your free time, but for this demonstration, I'm only going to look at a few or one. So you select the type, and the good thing on the right hand side, for any of the question types selected, there is a description. Like here, multiple choice, I select this, and then click on add. Now, you see we have here category. You can decide on where your question is going to be categorized. For example, these are questions for quiz 3. I can decide to have them under week 3 quiz, or I can leave the default for this course. Then here we have question name and question text. So I think you could remember we said that when a field has this exclamation, it means it's mandatory, we cannot leave it blank. So question name can be anything that can help you to identify the quiz with the questions, but it's not going to appear for the learners. So you can give it any name, for example, question. Even if you say question 1, question 2, and so on, it's fine, but remember it's not going to appear on the side of the learners. It just helps you to know that this is the kind of question that we have. So here you type the question. Now if you could have your questions already typed in a document, so you can just copy and type. So here, this is where you tap, you put the question. For my case, I have my questions already in Word document, so I can just copy and paste them here. Remember, add one question at a time. So this is the question. I will copy, then paste here. Now the options or the choices are added down. So you don't put the question in numbers, you only bring questions. And if there's any feedback you want to give to your learners, you put it here. But for this demo, let us now focus on the choices. This is the first choice, so this is where I put the first choice you have. Like this is the one I have. Can put it here. If there's any feedback, specific feedback you want to give to a learner who will give this choice, you type it here. If it is not there, leave the default. Then also, you should know the correct choice for the multiple choice questions. For the correct one, you will come and choose the grade. For the correct choice, because we expect it to have one choice, you set it to 100 because it is the right choice. But in this case, let me proceed adding other options. So the second option is this. So I'll scroll down to choice 2. I put my answer here. Still, it's not the correct one. Choice 3. According to my question, it is the one I had as the correct one. So I'll paste it here still. Now, because this is the correct choice for my case, I'll choose 100%. Because the system now will know that this is the correct choice. So 100%. That is the correct choice. Because I have 4 options, then I will also get the 4th option. I add it there. In case I have any specific feedback to any of the choices, I can add it there. Then when I'm done, I save the changes. So I'll add the first question. I repeat because the quiz has several questions. Then I again go back, add the quiz, then I select the type. Remember, for the correct choice, you must adjust the grade from whatever is there to 100. For example, if it is one choice that is correct, you set it 100. So the system will know that that is the correct choice. So you continue doing the same until all the questions you have for that quiz are added. Let's say there are 10. Then you can enable shuffle questions so that they don't come in that order for all the learners. You might find that what appears to be question 1 for student 1 is going to be question 5 for another student. Then also you set the scores for each of the questions. Let's say each question carries 2 marks. You can edit here. After you have adjusted the scores for each of the questions, you can set the maximum. For example, if there are 2 questions, like in this case, that means that the maximum is 4. Press enter and then you save. So your quiz questions have been added. So that is how you add questions. Maybe the last thing is how we make a few adjustments to our quiz. There are some extra settings you can have for a quiz. When you come to the 3 dots, you will have the option of edit settings. Then amongst the settings, one, you can adjust the timing, like for how long do you want your quiz to last. So you can enable this and then set the time. Let's say you want your quiz to last for 20 minutes. When a student begins, they will be cut off after those minutes. And then also you can state the start and the end date and the time for the quiz. For example, you enable this, then you set when you want your quiz to be available to your learners. You can adjust accordingly the date, then even the time. You can adjust maybe midnight is going to be available from midnight, and then to close, you enable this and then adjust accordingly. Maybe after a week, maybe you want your quiz to be available after a week, and it will close again at midnight. At the grading, you can adjust, for example, the number of attempts. Maybe you want a student to attempt 3 times and the system will pick the highest score amongst the 3 attempts and then you save. So that's how now the quiz will be marked as complete. So you see now the closing and the start date of the quiz are marked.